Hey, what's going on YouTube? Adam C here. Thanks for watching. A reminder, there are discount codes in the description of this and every video. And you can also follow me on Instagram at Adam C Solo, or send me an email anytime. My email is also in the description of every video. This is my 300-gallon, 8-foot long Malawi tank with Haplochromis. I actually haven't done an update on this tank in pretty close to a month, which, time gets away from you, and all of a sudden a day becomes a week and a week becomes a month. So a few updates on it, and I wanted to show it for some newer subscribers. This is 8 foot long, this is 30 inches front to back, and this is 25 inches tall. So I wanted to stay away from a 30-inch tall tank like my previous 220 was, just because it's harder to maintain those when they're that high. Sorry, that was my dogs in the background shaking their ears. But so I wanted to get a bit of a tank that's not so deep, so this is much easier to maintain. The centerpiece rock that is from Universal Rocks, I'll put the product name in the description of the video, as well as the other rocks that are in here as well. So you guys can check that out if you like. This tank is filtered by 3 FX6 canister filters. A lot of people would say that you should use a sump for a larger tank like this. And honestly, if I didn't already have the canister filters, those things are, for 3 of them, they're almost $1,000. If I didn't already have them, I probably would have went with a sump. But since I already had them, I couldn't bring myself to not put them to use on this tank. And they're actually doing great. The water looks a little bit cloudy now because I just fed like 10 minutes ago, which I really shouldn't have done if I planned to do a video. But keeps the water in great condition. Very happy with what they're doing. The downside of the canister filters is that you do have to take them out and clean them now and then, as opposed to a sump where you can just swap out media as you go. That's not too big of a pain in the butt. So I am slowly converting this into a breeding tank for several of my favorite species. What I have in here now that are already of breeding age is a wild group of Tyrannochromis nigriventer. Female. There's the male up there. Get a better look at him back here. Follows me everywhere. And there is a third female in there somewhere. There she is. I do have, I think, 5 or 6 Malawi Trout in here. It's 2 decent sized males, about 8.5 inches. Still fairly young compared to what they will be long term. There's another one probably right in front of me. Now there he is. Not a lot of color yet, just starting to get some egg spots. Then I have a group of 3 younger trout to kind of add to that group. I still have my Malawi Trout. You guys have seen them for years now, so no need to focus on them. I do have my Tilapia rhodesi, the Malawi bream, some people call them. And he is in here for one reason and one reason alone, as I've said before. If you look closely, those are dead snails all throughout the substrate. If you ever have a snail problem in your tank, Tilapia rhodesi is a great fish to take care of that for you. He eats snails all day long, and I can hear him crunching from 15 feet away. I did recently add my small group of Buccochromis heterotania. There is the male, and there are 6 others that I can't really tell, males or females. Not too worried about it yet, so I'm just kind of keeping an eye on them. I'm hoping they do grow up here and breed in this tank eventually, but it's going to be a while, and honestly, 7 or 8 in this tank, they're going to be too big for that, so I might have to cut it down to 4. The biggest fish in the tank, this wild Taniolethronop furcicauda yellow male. He is, believe it or not, over 11 inches now. When he got to 10 inches, I thought he might be done growing. When I got to 11 inches, I thought he might be done growing, but I don't think he's done growing. He'll probably clear a foot, which isn't super uncommon for these fish. They do consistently get, 10, 12 inches, but this guy, I think he's just going to be a larger specimen. So let's back up and get an overall view, and then we'll get a side shot. Again, sorry for the cloudiness. I shouldn't have fed before the video, but here we are. So you can see that background centerpiece, that Universal Rocks background. It's not even really a background, it's just kind of a centerpiece rock. I really like it because it gives nice dimension to the tank. It has great detail, but also, it doesn't take up hardly any space in this tank. So I'm quite pleased with that. So the reason I went with the 300 wide as opposed to like an 8 foot long 240 is the 300 wide is 6 inches deeper front to back than a 240 would be. So if you look at this rock right here, right there, the front of that rock is about 7 inches from the front of the aquarium. So if I had gone with the 240, you can see exactly pretty much the amount of aquarium space I would be giving up. And these fish are in the front of this tank all the time. So by eliminating that extra 6 inches, if I had gone with a 240, you're pretty much looking at that as an aquarium. The front 6 inches are gone. So if anyone's ever on the fence about getting an 8-foot tank and you can't decide whether to get the 240 or the 300, if you can fit it in your door, I would go with the 300. So guys, I'll try to keep this tank more updated on the channel. Like I said, I don't plan to go months between showing it, but between having 10 tanks and a whole bunch of different projects going on in every single one of them, I tend to lose track of time as far as when I've shown tanks last and when they're due for an update. So I appreciate you guys watching, and see you next time.